In Antananarivo, when a person dies, people don't just attend burials, they come in numbers. It doesn't matter if you knew the person or not. As long as you knew someone who knew someone who knew the person, you are automatically part of the inner circle. And on this particular Saturday, the compound of the late Uncle Farah was jam-packed. There were hundreds of chairs scattered under makeshift canopies. Children were running around barefoot. Old women were gossiping, and men in faded suits sat pretending to look serious while secretly scanning for food. Right in the middle of the crowd was Miali Razoanaivo, a short, plump woman in her early 40s who was famous in her neighborhood of Anosibe for two things: her unmatched love for free food and her ability to sniff out buffet like a bloodhound. People called her Madam Takeaway behind her back, but she didn't care. In fact, she was proud of her talent. To her, cooking at home was a waste of time when Madagascar had burials, weddings, and naming ceremonies every single weekend. So, Miali woke up that morning determined. She ironed her biggest purple kaba dress, tied her scarf tightly, and carried a large black leather handbag that looked innocent from the outside but had enough space to smuggle half a restaurant. She even rehearsed her strategy in front of the mirror. "Today, I must beat my record," she said to herself. "Last time at Aunt Zafi's wedding, I only managed 6 plates. Today, we'll go for 12. 12 plates. We must upgrade ourselves." Her husband, Toki, watched her from their doorway with his face buried in his palm. "Miali, please, don't disgrace this family today," he begged. "Uncle Farah was my mother's cousin. People know us there. Eat small and come back home." But Miali waved her hand like a queen dismissing a servant. "Toki, Toki, Toki, you think life is easy? You think I came to this world to suffer? Today, I must eat well, oh, and I am packing takeaways. If you want to die of hunger, that is your problem." By 10 a.m., she arrived at the venue. The place was tense but also chaotic because in Madagascar, funerals are not quiet affairs. The air was heavy with incense. The church choirs were singing hymns in Malagasy. Women were wailing dramatically, and somewhere at the back, someone was already arguing about who deserved the biggest meat portion when food arrived. Miali positioned herself strategically under the canopy nearest to the food tent. She had done her calculations perfectly. 2 tables were already stacked with covered trays, and she could see smoke rising from the giant pots behind the main house. Her sharp eyes scanned every corner, and when she spotted the 7 girls in matching blue uniforms whispering instructions to each other, she knew she had to act fast. But there was a problem. Everyone in the compound knew Miali's history. Last year, during a politician's funeral, she had packed 7 plates, hid them under her chair, and tried to sneak them out. Unfortunately, one of the plates had spilled oily sauce on her dress, leaving a trail of evidence behind her. People had laughed for weeks. Some even made a TikTok skit about it. This time, Miali promised herself that she would operate like a professional. She tied a small scarf for stealth mode, wore flat slippers for speed, and rehearsed her plan with herself like a soldier on a mission. First plate, rice. Second plate, zebu meat. Third plate, salad. Fourth plate, dessert. After that, we repeat. No mistakes. Her friend Lalatiana, a tall, slim, gossip-loving woman, sat beside her, fanning herself with a program booklet nervously. "Miali, please, behave yourself today. If you disgrace me again, I swear, I'll pretend I don't know you. Can you just rest?" But Miali only hissed like a woman possessed by hunger. "Rest fire. If disgrace were food, I would have eaten it long ago. Lala, today we win. Today, history will remember us. So please get ready for action." The priest was still giving the blessing, but Miali wasn't hearing a single word. Her eyes were locked on the buffet table like a sniper focusing on a target. And when she noticed that the servers were slowly removing the tray covers, she nudged Lalatiana sharply. Get ready, the battle is about to begin. By the time the choir started their final hymn, Miali was already standing with her handbag in hand and her knees slightly bent like an athlete about to sprint. But just as she was about to make her move, she spotted a problem. 4 women in matching red dresses were also targeting the food table, and one of them was her long-time rival, Rina. Rina was the only person in Antananarivo who could out-eat Miali at any burial. She had once been caught packing 8 plates into her baby stroller when the baby wasn't even there. Miali's eyes narrowed. So, Rina came. Fine, 2 lions cannot drink from the same river. Today, we'll fight. And just like that, the burial of Uncle Farah was about to turn into a silent battlefield. The priest had barely finished saying the last amen when the real tension began. People were moving slowly towards the buffet table with plates in hands, pretending to be solemn. But in their hearts, every man and woman knew this was not mourning anymore. This was hunger survival. Miali stood frozen for a moment, calculating her moves like a general, mapping out a battle plan. She watched the 7 girls in matching blue uniforms, arranging trays of food like soldiers preparing ammunition. And her heart skipped a beat when she saw the giant silver warmers steaming on the table. She could already smell the zebu sticks sizzling, the rich coconut rice steaming, and the fried Koba Akondro banana cakes lined neatly like gold bars waiting for collection. But then she turned and saw that across the canopy, Rina, her long-time buffet rival, adjusted her red lamba dress, tied her scarf tighter, and locked eyes with Miali from a distance. Rina's expression said everything without words. Not today, rival. You are not leaving here with victory. Miali's nostrils flared. She whispered sharply to her friend Lalatiana. You see her? That one, that Rina woman. She thinks she can challenge me, but today she will learn that I trained under hunger. Lalatiana sighed and already regretted why she agreed to come. Miali, please, just collect your 2 plates and let us go home quietly, she begged. But Miali shook her head and adjusted her handbag strap for extra stability. 2 plates? 2 plates is for amateurs now, Lala. We came here for 12 plates. You think I ironed this Kaba dress and polished these sandals just to collect 2 miserable plates of food? Just then, the MC stood by the microphone and tried to maintain order. Please, 1 plate per person. We repeat, 1 plate per person only. Everyone nodded politely, pretending to listen, but in the shadows, strategy meetings were happening. Women were whispering to their cousins, old men were instructing their children, and Miali was tightening her scarf like a warrior tying a headband before battle. The servers started placing trays of steaming rice, spicy beans, and piles of golden samosas on the buffet tables, and instantly, the crowd surged forward like a river breaking its banks. Miali used her short size to her advantage, bending between 2 aunties in flowery wrappers and pretending to wipe her eyes with a handkerchief. Ah, Uncle Farah, rest in peace, oh, she cried dramatically. Even though she never knew the man, the aunties pitied her grief and made space for her at the front of the line. Perfect move. She grabbed the first plate, which was coconut rice, zebu stick, and 2 beef skewers. She stacked it high, smiled sweetly at the server, and said, "This one is for my sick mother." She moved to a corner, slipped the plate into her tote bag under her chair, covered it with a scarf, and rejoined the line from another angle. The second plate came easily. She lied again, this time claiming it was for her pregnant sister at home. For the third plate, she borrowed Lalatiana's shawl, draped it over her shoulder, and pretended to be a different person entirely. By the time Miali secured 5 plates, her confidence was growing dangerously high. She adjusted her scarf, wiped sweat from her forehead, and said to Lala, "By the time these people blink, we'll have 12 plates packed neatly." But Rina was no beginner either. On the other side of the canopy, Rina had started her own secret operation. Her method was bolder. She recruited 3 teenagers who were nieces from her cousin's husband's side and gave each one of them 2 plates to hold for their grandmother. Within 15 minutes, Rina had 9 plates stacked under her chair, neatly hidden beneath a folded shawl. Then their eyes met across the canopy again. Mialy saw Rina's nylon bags bulging suspiciously under her chair, and Rina saw the corner of Mialy's black tote bag peeking out from behind her foot. That was when the war officially began. From that moment, both women began moving faster, each one determined to outsmart the other. Mialy tied her kaba dress at the hem for speed mode, weaving through crowds like a small antelope escaping a trap. Rina switched tactics and pretended to help the servers arrange plates while sneakily handing herself extra food under the table. At one point, they both reached for the same tray of grilled fish at the same time and their hands touched. Mialy smiled sweetly and said, "After you, sister." Rina smiled back, No, after you." But their eyes said something else entirely. Touch that fish and you will die. Meanwhile, gossip was spreading rapidly around the burial compound. Mama Hanitra, the local BBC reporter, leaned towards 2 women and whispered loudly, "You see those 2? They are fighting World War buffet right now. Watch them well." By now, the servers had started talking also. One girl tapped another and said, "Check that short woman in purple. She has been here 3 times already. Is she feeding a football team?" And just as Mialy was reaching for her 8 plates, one of the young ushers stopped her. "Auntie, sorry, haven't you collected before?" Mialy gasped dramatically and touched her chest as if she had been stabbed. "Collected? Me? My child, don't insult me. You think a woman of my dignity will kill twice? God forbid." The usher hesitated, apologized, and then let her pass. Suddenly, Rina called out sweetly to one of the servers, loud enough for half the crowd to hear. "Oh, thank you, my dear, for my 7th plate. My grandchildren will enjoy this." The entire table went silent. All heads slowly turned towards Rina's direction, then towards Mialy, whose bulging tote bag gave her away instantly. Lalatiana panicked and whispered urgently, "Mialy, abort mission, abort mission. We are about to be exposed." But Mialy whispered back, "Abort? Never. This is the moment champions are made." She bent low, grabbed her tote bag and slipped behind the main house to hide her stash before returning for what she believed would be the completion. However, by now, murmurs had spread across the crowd. People were watching her, phones were being slowly raised to record, and even the MC started frowning in suspicion. The servers had begun talking among themselves, pointing in Mialy's direction, and just as Mialy approached the buffet table again, reaching confidently for the fried banana tray, she froze because standing right there with her arms folded and blocking the food like a security checkpoint was Madam Fanja, Uncle Farah's eldest daughter and chief organizer of the burial. She wasn't smiling. "Mialy, how many plates have you collected today?" The compound fell silent and everyone turned to look at Mialy. She swallowed hard, forced a smile and innocently said, "1." Madam Fanja didn't blink once. She walked closer to Mialy and repeated like a teacher interrogating a cheating student, "Mialy, I said, how many plates have you collected today?" Mialy licked her lips and said in the smallest voice possible, Just 1, madam." Behind her, people were suppressing their laughter. Somebody said loudly, "1? But her bag is shouting 12. Another person added, "Even the ancestors know she's lying." From behind the fried banana table, one of the servers muttered, "She has been caught red-handed, good for her." Before Mialy could think of an excuse, Rina, her long-time buffet rival, stepped forward dramatically, holding a pristine plate of steaming rice like a courtroom exhibit. Madam Fanja, Rina began sweetly. Please, let me help you explain. Miali's stomach sank. Rina continued loud and clear and pointed to Miali without hesitation. This woman has been operating here like the Ministry of Takeaway Affairs. I personally counted 8 plates disappearing under her chair. She's running a buffet business behind the mango tree. Everyone froze in shock and somebody shouted, 8 plates? Scandal! Miali's ears burned as heat crawled up her neck. She raised her hands defensively and stammered, It's a lie, oh! Rina is jealous. Everybody knows she came here with backup carriers. Check her nieces. Check those boys. They are the ones. Rina clapped her hands dramatically, pretending to be disgusted. Me? Jealous of you? Please, respect yourself. I am not like you, who go to burials with industrial containers hidden in my bag. The crowd erupted into laughter. Even the old women on the second row, who had been praying the rosary moments ago, started cackling. Madam Fanja frowned. She stepped forward, pointed at Miali and said with a strong voice, Open the bag. Miali's words stopped. Her eyes darted left, then right, looking for escape routes. But everywhere she turned, people's faces were waiting, hungry for drama. She shook her head slowly and forced a laugh. Bag? Which bag? Me? I didn't bring any bag. Oh, maybe it's Lalatiana's own. Mine? Lalatiana shrieked. Miali, please don't involve me. I warned you. But before Miali could react, a small boy, one of Rina's spies, ran to the back of the canopy and yelled, Look, I found 7 plates hidden under her chair. People screamed and someone started recording. In that moment, the entire crowd exploded like fireworks. So she came here to open a restaurant. Papa Farah's ghost will chase you. You see, look at her, Madam 12 plates. Miali froze as the boy triumphantly raised the plates in the air like a trophy, revealing stacks of rice, skewers, samosas, and fried bananas carefully wrapped in napkins. Then, as if the ancestors were personally scripting her disgrace, her overstuffed tote bag suddenly tore open at the bottom and 4 more plates slid out. One landed upside down on the rusty floor. Another one smashed into someone's sandals, and fried fish scattered like angry birds on the floor. The crowd lost control. Even the MC dropped his microphone and bent double, wheezing with laughter. At this point, Madam Fanja's expression was pure thunder. Miali, Razoanaivo, do you know people have not eaten yet? And you are holding 11 plates for yourself. Only you? Miali opened her mouth to reply, but nothing came out except a tiny quick. Her friend Lalatiana covered her face with her wrapper, praying, Jesus, please, delete me from this compound. Rina, on smelling sweet victory, held her plate tighter and raised her voice so that everyone could hear. This is what happens when greed wears high heels. Let this burial be a warning. By now, children had started chanting in unison, Madam 12 plates, Madam 12 plates. Even the band people supported the drama and switched from a funeral song to a rapid mocking beat, and the drama added a freestyle rhythm while people clapped along mocking Miali. Miali suddenly couldn't breathe. Her vision blurred slightly and she wanted to vanish into the soil like spilled palm wine. But just when she thought the humiliation couldn't get any worse, from nowhere, her husband Toki appeared, dragging his faded flip-flops angrily. He had been discussing with uncles near the gate when the noise reached him. He pushed through the crowd, looked at the scattered food, the broken plates, the videos being recorded, and then he looked straight at his wife. Miali, tell me, do you have shares in this burial buffet? The entire compound erupted again. Some people were holding their ribs from laughing too hard. Others collapsed on plastic chairs, wheezing. Miali was fully drowning in shame by now. She moved closer to Toki and told him, Toki, please, let's just go home. But Toki pointed to the food on the ground and screamed, with what dignity, Miali? With what dignity do we go home? By now, the entire event had completely derailed. Videos flooded WhatsApp within minutes, and hashtags were already trending in 3 family group chats. Hashtag Madam 12 plates. Hashtag burial buffet bandits, and hashtag Operation Takeaway. Madam Fanja raised her hands to silence the crowd. Please, from today, this woman is banned from attending any burial, wedding, or ceremony organized by this family. Ushers, kindly escort her out. The crowd roared in approval. Phones were still recording, while Rina stood at the back, biting into a beef skewer triumphantly, as if she had just won the World Cup. And as two ushers slowly led Miali towards the gates, children chased after her, chanting, "Madam 12 plates, Madam 12 plates," until she disappeared down the dusty road. Her dream of quietly smuggling away 12 glorious plates had turned into a public disgrace. By the next morning, the community was still vibrating even more. The scandal from Uncle Farah's burial had grown wings overnight, and everyone had seen the videos of Miali's tote bag ripping, plates tumbling dramatically, fried fish rolling on the dusty floor like runaway goats, and children chanting Madam 12 plates after her. In the corner shops, at the bus stop, even in church prayer groups, her name was on everyone's lips. Some people were sympathetic, saying, "Ah, shame has no mercy, poor woman." But most were laughing and laughing loudly. Toki, her husband, had gone into hiding. He didn't step outside their compound the entire day. Every time someone knocks on their gates, he would whisper, "Miali, if it is another person coming to laugh, please, I am not at home." Oh. Miali herself stayed locked inside, refusing to eat or talk. She lay on her bed, replaying the scene in her head like a bad movie she couldn't escape from. But her humiliation wasn't the end of the story, because the Rakoto family, the host of the burial, weren't done with her yet. 3 days later, a small envelope arrived at Miali's house. It was delivered by a teenage boy, and it carried one chilling sentence written in bold red pen: "Report to the Rakoto family meeting, Saturday, 3 p.m. sharp." Miali's heart sank. She tried to ignore it, but Toki shook his head slowly and warned, "If you don't go, they will report you to the central chairman, and you know what that means." She groaned, shrugged, and prepared herself for what she was certain would be a public trial. Saturday arrived, and every member of the Rakoto family gathered in the large compound. The men and women sat patiently, pretending to fan themselves, but clearly hungry for drama. And at the very front sat Madam Fanja, the chief organizer of the burial, looking like a queen preparing for war. Rina, of course, was also there, sitting proudly in the second row. She crossed her legs elegantly, holding a bottle of Fanta like a trophy, and waiting for the justice that would be served. When Miali walked in, everyone adjusted on their seats. Some people pointed at her. One boy said to another, "That is her, Madam 12 plates," and they both collapsed into laughter. Madam Fanja stood up and addressed the room. "Miali Razoanaivo, do you know why we called you here?" Miali's voice cracked. Because of the food." Madam Fanja raised an eyebrow. "Food, yes, but more than that, because of respect. We invited you to honor our father, but what did you do? You disrespected him. Do you know that many elders, including Papa Rivo, went home hungry that day?" The room nodded in agreement, while Miali's face continued to burn in shame. Then Madam Fanja turned sharply and pointed straight at her tote bag sitting by the chair. "Open it." Miali hesitated. "Madam, it is empty now." "I said open it." Miali opened the bag slowly. Everyone leaned forward, and inside were 3 leftover empty takeaway containers from that day. Forgotten. The room exploded with laughter so loud that even the neighbors' chickens ran. However, just when it looked like Miali's shame had reached its final stage, Karma, like a patient hunter, suddenly came for Rina. An elder named Uncle Harry, who had been quiet all this while, stood up and said, "Before we continue judging Miali, let's talk about Rina Razafindra Koto also." The crowd went silent. Rina blinked rapidly in confusion. "Me? What did I do?" Uncle Henry cleared his throat. We discovered that Rina also collected 15 plates of food with the help of her nieces, and she sold them the next day at the market for 4,000 ariary each. I have witnesses. Everyone paused in shock for a few seconds, and then they turned towards Rina. Someone at the back shouted, "Ah, so this one has been profiting from dead people's rice." Rina instantly lost her tongue. She began stammering, It's not like that, oh. I only..." But Madam Fanja raised her hand sharply. "Silence! While you were mocking Miali, you were running a burial food business behind our backs. Shame on you." Now, the laughter doubled, and this time, it was Rina's turn to feel the heat. The same children who chanted Madam 12 Plate started a new one. They started chanting Madam Black Market, Madam Black Market. After a long heated discussion, the family gave their ruling. Miari would write an apology letter to the Rakoto family and serve in their kitchen for their next ceremony as community service. Rina would refund the money she made from reselling the burial food and was also banned from eating at any public events for 6 months. Both women left the compound in silence and shame. Their rivalry had been officially settled, but their reputations were permanently stained. By Monday morning, the gossip had evolved. Instead of just Miali, both women were now trending together. Madam 12 Plates versus Madam Black Market. Battle of Antananarivo 2025. Someone even edited a movie poster with both their faces, calling it Fast and Furious 13 Buffet Wars. Toki, who was still embarrassed, sighed deeply when he saw it and said, "Miali, maybe next time, just eat at home." Miali didn't reply. She simply covered her head with her scarf and said to herself, "Never again. Well, unless maybe the buffet is really, really good." Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. Give the story a thumbs up and share the story out with your loved ones. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.